Hi everyone, welcome to Finding Serenity in Stitches. My name is Christina and I'm really happy to be here with you today. I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe and getting ready for some holiday fun time. Enjoying gift knitting, hopefully. I have been enjoying my gift knitting. Today I'm going to go over a couple of finished objects. We'll talk about my works in progress, my whips, and then a couple of things that I plan on still making, I mentioned before. Also, the winner of the Hawthorne yarn from the last video, she didn't contact me. So it's up for grabs. We'll do another giveaway. I'll pull another person from the video where I first started the giveaway. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's jump right in. I've got lots of information to share with you. I participated in the Joji Locatelli Fall Cal 2021, and I signed up for 2 Rafa hats, which is one of my favorite beanies, and it's a favorite, it's a free pattern on Ravelry from Joji. And here they are. I made a green one and a brown one, and they're really easy to knit. They're made from worsted weight yarn, so it goes really fast. It's a great thing to knit for gift giving. And this is a great hat. I've used it to practice my continental knitting. The first one I made, I was really practicing, and now I can, kind of whip along using continental style, and it is much faster than the the American style, I guess it is. So yeah, if you're interested in learning continental style, this is a great practice because it's knit one, purl one ribbing. And the ribbing is separated from a row of single crochet, I'm thinking crochet, of knitting one round and purling one round. And then here's a peek at the top of the hat. So yeah, I got those 2 done, and I finished my Julie's wrap, another pattern of Joji's. Let's see, how do I want to show this to you? So let's see, tell you a little bit about it. It's typically knit with a US 6, and I used a US 5 because my stitches just weren't very consistent, and so I switched to a US 5, and I used my Takumi Clover Takumi bamboo needles, and so that worked really well for me. Because I adjusted the needle size, I determined how wide I wanted it and then cast on the appropriate number of stitches. For the body, I used Mrs. Crosby's satchel in Greystone, and I rotated that with Cloudborne Superwash Merino, and it's a fingering weight, and that came out really well. They complemented each other well. I only had 2 skeins of each yarn, so I decided to just rotate the skeins so it would go further, and it came out how I wanted it to. The color I'm really happy with. My stitch definition is looking good. For the border, same needle, same yarn, but the increases that are in the pattern, I was having trouble with a lot of holes, and I was probably halfway done with the border, and I decided to rip it all out and reknit the border because it just did not look good. And I was going back and I was correcting the corners. I don't know if you can see that, but just to show you a corner, maybe it looks okay on film, but I ended up ripping it all out. I thought I'm just going to go back. I'm going to use a different increase method, and which I did, which was great. So it is looking a little better, but I was running out of time, and I didn't plan on putting the baubles. There are baubles all the way around the shawl, and I didn't plan on putting the baubles in, although when I saw the shawl at the end, I thought something's missing, and so I think I do need to go in and do the baubles, but I think I want to knit the border again. Just not happy with the corners. I didn't make as long of a border as she did. So about halfway through the border, you start some additional increasing, and I hope I'm not giving too much info away because it's a paid pattern, but halfway through the border, you do some additional increases. And because my border isn't as long as the one in the pattern, it's just not looking right. So I've got to refigure this border. This shawl is for me, and it's so cozy. It's I can just put it around me, I suppose, so you can kind of see where it's landing, and imagine the border is going to be a little longer. So yeah, it's very cozy, it's very squishy and warm. I'm just not happy with the border, so reknit the border, and then I'll call it complete. So I'll show you an example here of the additional increasing, and how if I would have continued on knitting, and maybe those increases would have been knitted to completion, it would have looked a lot better. So yeah. And this year HOHOHO did a live I think it was on Mondays, every Monday, which was really fun. I was able to catch her several times, and it was really fun, discussing through the video her choices for yarn. And she was working on a jacket and a shawl, and she started a shawl, and we were able to see the progression as she went through that. So that was really fun. I definitely am going to do the HOHOHO fall cal again next year, and I've done it once before, and I think I'm going to continue with that. So okay, works in progress. Let's start at the top. I've got nice little neat piles around me. Douglas Cardi. This Douglas Cardi is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and I think I'll put a picture in so you can see what it's supposed to look like. It's a striped cardigan, and here is the swatch that I was working with. I was playing around with colors, and the yarn is Lion Brand jeans yarn. Here's one of them. And I used some Hobie Amigo, the DK. It paired very well with this worsted weight yarn. So here is what I've gotten done so far. Give you a nice look at that. I'm really happy with the colors. I went back and forth on taking the rust out or leaving it in, but what I ended up doing was leaving the rust in. I found this Hobie Amigo. It's kind of a gold beige, and I thought it really softened up the colors and brought them all together, because my concern was this corduroy color here, that it was, kind of standing out too much. So adding in a light color before that, I think really helped. So now I'm going to see how the rust goes, alongside this corduroy color. So I'm really happy with this. Thinking this is my first cardigan that I've knit, and yeah, I'm still going back and forth if it's going to be a gift for one of my daughters or if it's going to be mine. I almost feel like I should, well, I did crochet another cardigan, and I can talk about that. I do have it here if we have time for that. Anyway, going really well. I'm very happy with it, and I see so many other cardigans I want to knit. I'm so excited. This is me, so excited. Okay, let me set that down. Next on the needles, this is another knitting pattern, is my grandson's Seahawk Socks. And this is made out of Cascade Heritage prints in the Seattle stripe. And I am holding, I had started it, I was about halfway through the foot or maybe a little more, and I decided to start over because I wanted to make DK socks. Those socks that I was knitting him were pretty thin, and it's fall, gonna go into winter. I wanted him to have a nice cozy pair, or he could even use them for slipper socks. The last two slippers I've made him, one didn't fit because he had grown so much. The other one I saw once when he put them on, and he said, when I asked, oh, they're probably too small, Grandma. I was like, so I'm going to knit him a men's pair of DK socks, and I'm hoping that they will last him a little bit. But I think he's going to be happy with this choice. The Seahawks are his team and my daughter Brianna's team. And I was thinking, because I have 2 skeins, I was thinking about knitting him a beanie. But he said he doesn't like beanies, so maybe another person in my family will get a beanie. We'll see. We'll see how much yarn I have left. And I'm knitting these on, let's see. I am knitting these on a US, oh my goodness, what is it? US 5. It looked kind of small for a 5. But yeah, I'm knitting them on US 5. And after watching Jana with Purl together, I can now cast on toe-up socks and start the toe-up socks, then use the toe for a gauge to determine how many stitches I need to end up with as far as increasing. And so I'm really excited about that. It's very empowering. It's very empowering knowing that I can take a pair of needles and some yarn and start a pair of socks without a pattern. I was watching Rose Opal Knits videos, and on one of their videos, or a couple of their videos maybe, they were showing some magic heel socks. And heels, the reason I don't knit more socks, sometimes it's the heel, sometimes because it takes so long, but DK socks, they do, knit much quicker. The heel, anyway, the heel can be a problem for some. I don't necessarily dislike the heel. I think I dislike the time it takes to knit fingering socks. I can get behind some DK socks. So when Daphne showed the magic heel, and from the Autumn Acorn is that pattern, I went and checked it out and purchased the DK weight pattern. Magic heel sock, it's basically a ribbed heel. And because her pattern is written for cuff down, I'm doing toe up. I think what I'll try is leaving about 2 inches for the heel from the length that I want the sock, and then trying her heel instructions backwards. And once I've gone through those, then I can start the cuff. And I may just continue ribbing up the cuff is kind of what I'm thinking. But anyway, I'm excited to see how that goes, and stay tuned. So, I'm getting tangled up here. Let's see. Okay. I've got a nice basket, big basket over here of stuff I'm going to be talking about. Let's sprinkle in some crochet now. Crocheting, the only project I have going is this beautiful blanket for my daughter, Isabella. And I should have said to not look at the, I don't care. I've decided I'm not going to worry about if I'm making a gift and somebody sees it. Maybe I'll give a little warning if I remember. If not, no big deal. I think the kids, I don't know if they watch my videos. I think if I ask, they might say, yeah, of course we do, to make me feel good. I don't know. Anyway, oh, and speaking of my, my video, my son told me yesterday, Mom, I don't think it's a podcast that you do. I said, no, and because I heard that on somebody else's video saying, I'm not going to call it a podcast, and called it something else. And I thought, well, I don't want to offend real podcasters that, do it for a living and have guests and, etc. So maybe I'm making videos. I'm a videographer. No. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I don't know if you have an opinion on what a podcast is, or, what you call this that I'm doing here. I'd like to know. So back to the blanket. The blanket is in moss stitch, where you single crochet 1, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, etc. And this is a free pattern from the Snugglery, which I've talked about before. And there's the border, a single crochet border. So I'm really excited about this blanket. It's so beautiful. I just love the colors, and so I'm real excited for her. She actually moved out and is living in her first home. It's actually our home that she's renting, but it's really exciting to see her, you know, take that big step. And I remember before she moved out, I said, are you sure you want to move out? I'll buy, you know, and she wasn't by herself. She's got 2 roommates, which is great. But anyway, it would be nice to have a nice cozy blanket to give her for her to use at her new place. New place, she lived there when she was a child. Let's see. Another work in progress is my Harlow hat. So quick recap, I purchased the Harlow hat and Brioche-alicious, and I was determined to learn brioche this year, which I have learned it. Look, I actually had started it and decided that I'm going to restart it because I dropped a stitch or 2 and then tried to fix it and think I made it worse. And you know, I'm not that far, so it's just going to be best for me to restart it. I did go watch a video from Drowning in Yarn, and that was helpful, but again, I think I was just too far gone because I had tried to fix it myself first. So stay tuned for this. I'm really excited to learn brioche. It's something I have tried off and on for the last couple of years, I guess. So if you don't get it and you're still kind of wondering about it, just keep trying, and one day you're going to say, oh, okay. Because I'm used to reading knitting and crochet patterns that tell you exactly what to do. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together, you know, kind of thing. And brioche isn't written that way. And so that's a little adjustment that you kind of have to make as you're learning brioche. So 2-color brioche. I almost think 1-color brioche would be more difficult, because wouldn't you get more confused about which stitches you should be at, you know, you should be doing what to? I don't know. But I'm so excited to learn this. And so as far as brioche goes, I'm definitely going to do a Harlow hat, and I really want to do the, and these are Andrea Mowry patterns, and I definitely want to do Brioche-alicious eventually. Let's see. For my son, I casted on a pair of socks. He is a snowboarder, and I talked about this previously, that he wanted to get a pair of wool socks. And so I had this in my stash, a couple skeins of this really pretty, it's a Cloudborne tweed worsted. I'm not sure the exact name of it, but that's pretty much what it is. And so again, I cast on some stitches, and am using the toe to determine gauge and how many stitches around I'll need. So yeah, so that's exciting. And it's a quick knit also. So DK socks and worsted socks, I think I can handle it. Okay, the next item, Dad, if you're watching, you might want to look away, or if you don't really care about surprises for Christmas, then stay tuned. I was really itching to do some color work, and I had casted on Beltion, which I set aside to do the HOHOHO, and now I'm kind of setting aside because I want to do these Christmas gifts, so I'll get to that eventually. But I was craving some color work, and so I texted my stepmom and asked her if they had Christmas stockings that they hang up every year, like special ones. And she said, nope. And I said, well, great. I said, because I'm dying to do some color work. So here is what I've started. And what I did was I went into Ravelry. I looked at a lot of free patterns, a lot of paid patterns. There are some free patterns that have the drawings that you can print out, and it's graphed, so you know you can, one stitch is this color, one stitch is that color, etc. You can follow it, and that's what I did basically. And so I've taken a couple of different patterns and put them together. I'm using my Red Heart Super Saver, and I got quite a bit of Red Heart Super Saver. My husband, he would bring me these huge bags full. It's like a big Santa sack, and it's all this yarn. And when I had first started knitting and crocheting, But I got these huge, you know, bundles of yarn. Some of it would be used halfway, some of it or were brand new. And so I really started building my stash from that. And so I have a lot of the Super Saver. And because I've been using merino and cotton, you know, when I go to use Super Saver, it's not very soft. I think we can all agree on that. Nothing wrong with it. Just great for slippers, you know, something that needs some durability. But it's missing the soft factor. So I had them in bags ready to give away. And then when I decided to do a Christmas stocking, I pulled them all out, and I've got a nice stash of colors of Red Heart Super Saver, and eventually all my family is going to get a personalized stocking. Now, my dad's name is Joe, so you can see the J, O, and E forming. And I wanted to put Grandpa, but that was so long. And so I thought, you know, it'll just be first names, Joe and Paula. So yeah, and again, I'm just picking, you know, oh, I like how that looks. Let's put that next. My dad, he used to be an avid hunter. I don't think he goes as often. And he used to go hunting on foot, then on horses, on his horses. He's got a horse ranch in Salem, about an hour from here. And then he got into bow hunting. I was gonna say bowing, but that didn't sound right. Bow hunting. And anyway, I think he'll appreciate if I put a deer on here. So, okay. My husband saw a friend of his from, I think, Washington, and he, you know, came home and he told me that his wife has cancer. And I happen to have a kit for fashion chemo caps that, you know, I thought, well, one day I'll crochet them up. And this is a crochet project. I thought one day I'll crochet it up and donate it to my local hospital or something. But Annie's Caring Crochet is the kit club, and so here's a picture of it. It came with this one, and actually there's two different yarns, so you can make two different colors. Here's the other one that you can make, and they are pink and blue, and yeah, so I'm really excited to be able to knit something for someone that, you know, maybe is going through a hard time and could use these. So let me show you the yarn. Really pretty yarn and really soft. I don't even know about this yarn, but I gotta say it's really soft. So okay, and I'm gonna make one of each. I'm gonna make one pink one and one blue one. So here is the pink yarn. It's kind of it's not the traditional pink. It's more of a dark salmon pink. I'm trying to think what color is that? I don't know. I can't think. Okay, so let's just go to the Annie's Caring Crochet Kit Club. And if you're interested in signing up for these kits, go to caringcrochetclub.com. And Annie's has several different clubs, and they're very affordable. And so it's a great way to increase your stash and get a surprise in the mail if you're interested. I did a couple of months. I tried a couple of them, and then decided I like to buy the yarn and select it myself. So I don't know. I think it would be fun to do a subscription again, maybe try a couple of different ones. Maybe like next year I could sign up for one for two months, another for 2 months, and kind of rotate through a bunch of them. I think that would be fun. So, okay, so Annie's Caring Crochet Kit Club. Cool machine wash, gentle, tumble dry, gentle, low heat, do not bleach, do not iron, 100% acrylic, 3.5 ounces, 195 yards. And this is the number 4 medium worsted weight. And so that's this color here. Now I've already started using the blue, so it's not as pretty. Oh, well, that's fine. So here's the blue. Aren't those pretty colors? And it is so soft. For acrylic, they really have a good recipe, because at first I thought it was cotton. It's so soft. Cotton and acrylic or something. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. And I hope I can, you know, put a smile on her face. I've never met her, but that's, you know, doesn't matter. It also comes with a scarf that actually, let me pull these up again, that will match. And you can tie the scarf around, like the first picture I showed you. You can tie the scarf around. Isn't that nice? I thought that was really, really nice. It's a nice project and makes me feel good to do something for someone else. So we have Rocky, who I'll put a picture up. You guys have seen him a couple times before, and we have Rico. Rocky's the white and brown. Rico is the black dog. It's actually black and brown. Rocky has arthritis. Sometimes he can't jump up on the bed to, you know, sit there at your feet and cuddle. And we used to have a dog named KO, and it's hard to talk about because we all miss him so much. I mean, I can feel the tears behind my eyes, you know, if I talk about KO too much. Gorgeous dog, just amazing. Any pet owners, you know, understand how it is if you've lost a pet. Anyway, KO had arthritis also, and I had knit him a sweater that he wore pretty often, and that I think soothed him. And I think Rocky needs some soothing because he suffers so much. He's got allergies like you wouldn't believe, and he's getting arthritis. And so I'm knitting him, and Rico too, because Rico's our pup. He's about a year and a half old. And I'll put a picture in of the dog sweater, and because that's a better picture than my black and white that I have. I'll show you that too, just in case. So it's a ribbed sweater, which is genius because when I made KO his sweater, and one of the things I ran into is they're pit bulls, and so pit bulls have a wide chest area, and you know, they're kind of muscular there, and so it was really difficult knitting the sweater to fit him well. And you know, live and learn, I didn't think about doing ribbing. So I was on Purl's Soho website because I'm dying to knit, like I have any extra time, but I really want to knit that half and half wrap. I'm going to put it on my Christmas list and we'll see what happens. So while I was on there, I saw this sweater, and it's got stockinette in the back, and then it's got ribbing in the front, right where dogs need that extra, where, you know, just right where they need it to be able to stretch. And so I'm really excited about the sweaters, and so I'm diving in. Rocky, for Rocky's, I'm using this green yarn, which was perfect. My daughter, I said, what color do you want Rocky's sweater? And she said, how about a green? I said, oh, I got the perfect yarn. This is a Cloudborne worsted merino, superwash worsted merino. And I don't know if they have any left. It's been on closeout from Love Crafts and Webs at yarn.com for a while now. But this is so squishy and so soft, and I just can't wait for Rocky to put it on. And Rico, you know, he doesn't really like clothes that much. It just doesn't seem like it. I think if it's comfortable and he doesn't really notice, you know, then I don't think he'll chew it up. But if he doesn't like it, he might chew a hole in my knitting, and that wouldn't be nice. Anyway, so I think Rocky will really like this sweater. So I'm really excited about that, to knit something for him that will, you know, soothe him as he gets a little older. Oh, so hard to think about. Something else I want to talk about. This is my ranunculus, and oh, I didn't sew in that end. Interesting. Anyway, here's my ranunculus. You've seen it before. I finished it and couldn't find 2 skeins of yarn, so I went ahead and did short sleeves. And guess what I found the other day? Before I had my craft room, my yarn room, we might as well call it what it is. Before I had my yarn room, I had my yarn in big totes under my bed. And I had a box, 2 boxes under there with yarn in it that I didn't transfer over here, and I think I just forgot. So when I was looking for it, I looked through bags, I looked through everything back here. I was looking everywhere, and here they are. I'm so excited to have found. I mean, I could have ordered more, but who wants to spend money when they don't have to? So I am going to, and it may be after Christmas, but I want to make this a long sleeve or 3/4 sleeve because it's so comfy. It's so comfy. If you've knit a ranunculus, you know the story. It's a little big. I'm thinking with long sleeves though, I think it will even itself out a little more, because I had knit a 44 because I wanted to make sure it was nice and blousy. Well, I needn't worry because I think the additional ease was already built into the pattern. And so I didn't need to worry about that, I don't think. So live and learn. Real excited about making this, and if I can get it done sometime soon, then I can wear it more often around these rainy, cold Oregon days. I don't think I have any new acquisition. Okay, I did purchase something. Not yarn though, it's a book. I purchased Vogue Knitting, and it was like $24, I think, on Amazon. And I've seen this book. It's a thick, heavy book packed with information. And I've seen it much more expensive than that. So if Vogue Knitting is something you're interested in, then check out Amazon. Christy Glass recently had one of the editors of Vogue Knitting on her show, and he talked about this book, and that's how I learned of it. I believe there are more than 800 stitch patterns in this book, and it's a hardcover. It'd be a great coffee table book. The gentleman that, I wish I knew his name, the gentleman that was on Christy Glass said that the editors got together and looked at all the Vogue Knitting projects that had been done, and they all started picking out their favorites, and those are the ones that are in this book of 800 stitch patterns. So this is called Vogue Knitting, the Ultimate Stitch Dictionary. So the table of contents, there's an introduction how to use this book. There's a knit and purl section that has all kinds of beautiful stitches, and there's just an example, but the big example is what's on the covers. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I'm excited about this book. Okay, so back to the table of contents. Knit and purl section. Then it has a colorwork section, a cables section, a lace section, edgings, abbreviations and reference, and an index. So I'll just pick a couple to show you. Some are written out and some are charted and some are both. So let's take a look at that. This is an example of the one that is written out and charted. So here's a tribal one. Now this really gets me going. Isn't that gorgeous? And I could make that. I was showing my husband, I was like, honey, I have the skills. I can make each and every one of those. I mean, I may not get it exactly right. I may need a little practice. Oh, on that same page, but across from it, is another tribal one that I really like. Isn't that nice? Okay, enough show and tell. But yeah, Vogue Knitting, the Ultimate Stitch Dictionary. I found it on Amazon for pretty cheap. What I want to knit. There are so many things that I want to knit and crochet. And most of them are cardigans right now. So there's this Girlfriend's Cardigan, and I'm going to put a picture for you because, again, I'm going to put a picture every time I talk about a project because then you can get a real clear vision of what it looks like. 3 girlfriends got together. Oh, Christian is her name, from Berlin. Anka Strick is Anka from Berlin. And Woolweg is Marianne from Berlin. So they got together and created the Girlfriend's Cardigan. It's a garter stitch cardigan, and the construction is pretty cool. It starts on the back of the neck, and then from there it builds the front and the back. There are 3 different options for this pattern, and it was fairly inexpensive for 3 people's patterns version of the same cardigan. The Chris Berlin, her interpretation is a very simple no frills cardigan, clean cut design, flattering, etc. Ankastrick, her interpretation is a wonderful and simple project that you can knit while chatting with besties. Nice finishing touch on the edges and faux seams. And then the third one by Woolweg is a recipe for the idea of what you want your girlfriend's cardigan to be. And so that really appealed to me because I don't know how many times I see a pattern, I love it, but the yarn I want to knit with is Sport DK, but it's written in fingering or it's written in worsted. So I love the fact that there's a recipe on here where I can use any yarn that I'd like to work with and make it work. The reason I picked up this is because I talked about last, I'm going in circles, Patagonia from Juniper Moon Knits. Isn't that gorgeous? Acorn color. So I purchased this yarn. It's a bit rustic because I want to learn to steek cardigans. I want to learn to knit in the round. So it's a quick knit. Plus it's a lighter fabric, I believe, when you're just knitting versus knitting and purling. Anyway, and I'm always warm. You can probably see my cheeks are getting warm now. So I found this Juniper Moon yarn. It had the color I wanted. And so you go in the round and then you knit or you cut where you want the opening to be. And I'm so excited to try that. I'm not scared, even if I put a lot of work into it. This whole adventure is live and learn and try new things and experience this, experience that, because eventually I would like to create my own patterns and not in any hurry. I'm kind of in the learning stage right now. And anyway, the icing on the cake or the cherry on top is that the 3 of them, when you purchase this pattern that has their 3 interpretations, 100% of the profits go to charity. So that's one I really want to knit. I think I mentioned I want to knit the half and half triangles wrap by linen quill from Purl Soho. And the pattern is free, and you start at a corner and you make increases and then you do decreases. So you end up, I think that's how it is. So you end up with a large 2-color shawl. And the folks that I've seen their videos that have made this say a lot of times they use it as a blanket. So eventually I want to make my mom one because she travels a lot. And I thought, well, how nice would that be to have a luxurious little wrap if you're cold, or something you can throw on, you know, as a little blankie, easy to keep in the car. So anyway, that's another one I want to knit. I want to crochet a cardigan. Now, I tried crocheting a cardigan, and you all may know of this cardigan. It's called the Habitat Cardigan, and it's escaping me who made it. And I don't want to say the wrong person, but it's been a while. Last year, I crocheted the Habitat Cardigan, and it's got the Elizabeth stitch, and it's got this yummy, big, cozy shawl collar, and it's got sleeves. I actually did one sleeve. You add the sleeves, and it's a shrug, basically. And the sleeves were so thick that I tore them out and I tried knitting the sleeves, which are much better. They're not, you know, they're not as thick and bulky. But I just am not happy with it. I'm not happy with the fit. As you're doing your rectangle for the shrug, you can add on a little bottom piece that covers your rear end, that, you know, and then you knit back and forth for the shawl collar. And this is a free pattern. This is a free pattern, the Habitat Cardigan. I'll put a picture here, and maybe I could even fit in who made it. It just didn't fit right, and so I thought, well, maybe I'll give it to my daughter, and she hasn't tried it on yet, but now I'm seeing all these other cardigans that I want to make. I'm thinking about just using this yarn, which is Lion Brand. What yarn is this? Lion Brand. It's a Lion Brand yarn. I'm so sorry, I don't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's a nice cushy worsted weight yarn. So I kind of want to use this yarn to make my daughter, my second daughter, a cardigan that she will love. That's, you know, perfectly styled suited for her. So that's the same one I'm making the blanket for. And my other daughter, I'm on top of making things for her too. The Harlow hat, the black and white version, I was really leaning towards giving her that one. And maybe a black and red for my son. I don't know. Anyway, lots of ideas, so little time. I've really had fun chit-chatting with you guys today. Let's talk about the giveaway. First off, I won another giveaway, and I won, okay, I caught Gina from Knitting Turnpike, and I had won some yarn from her previously. It's a purplish, bluish True Boo, and by Lion Brand, and that was, I think, in August maybe. So when Nightbot, when she was doing a live, picked me again, I felt kind of bad, but I didn't want to interrupt the live to say, oh, pick again, you know, because I didn't want to cause more trouble. So I just accepted it. I won again. So what I won at Gina, from Gina at Knitting Turnpike, is this beautiful Turtle Purl striped turtle toes yarn. And I did see Turtle Purl on Etsy. I'm not sure if they have their own website. But look at this skein of yarn, how they create two different skeins. So you've got one for each foot or one for each hand, whatever it is that you're making. You can knit until you run out of yarn and know that you've got the same amount ready for the second item that you're knitting or crocheting. And here's a little mini that went with it. So I thought that was so cute. Have I knit myself a pair of socks? I've knit myself slippers. Oh, I think I did knit myself some socks with Lion Brand Wool Ease several years ago. But I'm thinking of pairing this with another yarn so that, let's see the yarn details. That's a good idea. So, okay, so this Turtle Purl, it's called Octopus Garden. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's a 4-ply, 450 yards, equals the 100 grams, so it's pretty thin. And the recommended needle, US 1 to 2, recommended hook 2.25 to 2.5 millimeter. Oh yeah, and it's machine wash cold, lay flat to dry or hang to dry. And anyway, it's really cute yarn. I'm excited to make myself a pair of socks. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm not so excited about fingering socks because they just take so darn long. So I think I'm going to pair this with another yarn that goes well with it and make myself some DK socks. So that's the plan. Speaking of giveaway, we still have this beautiful skein of speckled yarn to give away, and I'm really sorry that the person that won it didn't contact me. I've been checking my emails, you know, going back thinking maybe I missed it. So we're gonna pick a new winner, and let me get my phone out here. I've got my extra phone so we can pull up the URL and use the random comment picker. Okay, so I've got the URL loaded up. Sorry about the glare. I don't know if you can see it. Let me close this curtain and see if that helped. I've got the URL loaded up. I don't know if that helped or not, closing the curtain, whatever. We are going to filter duplicate users, and this is 2 episodes ago when I started the giveaway for the Hawthorne tie-dye speckle yarn. Let's see. Now, for the yarn, you were supposed to put in the word Hawthorne. So I'm going to put, get YouTube comments, filter comments based on a specific text. And we're going to put Hawthorne in there. So I've got the word Hawthorne in there. And I'm going to get YouTube comments. 34 comments. Start raffle or pick comment. Okay, so we've got 34 comments. And then we are going to pick a winner. And the winner is, Can y'all see that? I can't. The winner is Saf Stitched. She won a few giveaways ago. That is so funny. She won again. I mean, I'm not going to argue with karma. So congratulations, staff. And I am going to contact you and send you off this beautiful tie-dye speckle yarn. I bet the reason she won again was because last time she won, she asked me to send the yarn to a friend instead of her. And what did I say about karma? That's so cool. All right, well, you guys have a great day. I think I've chatted long enough. All right, you guys have a great week. I'm doing recordings every couple weeks, so I will see you then. Bye.